I would like to know more about it. I'm hoping maybe she puts a book out where I can actually sit down, read the book, and then study it and make notes and go from there. The one concern I do have with her is that she's going to be eventually categorized within the flat earth theory crowd. That's a major psyop in and of itself.
Shanina, I think her name is, if I've got your name right. Apologies if I haven't.
Within the flat earth theory crowd, that's a major psyop in and of itself. So if I were her, I'd be a little bit careful about that. It sounds intriguing. I think you should have her on. I think she should have her own platform first. And then we could take it from there. So I'm kind of not convinced right now. But definitely I will keep my mind open. I mean, in terms of the navigation aspect, as you said, I've looked into this. And I think it's important when we're talking about the Apollo missions, which she did, and she starts off her video by saying that they really go to the moon type of thing. I like to debate and discuss that the Apollo missions were faked. And I like to prove it within the official framework. Because that's how you actually convince people. It's not about winning people over. It's just getting them to look at this themselves and say, well, you know, the moon is 250,000 miles away. Here is the method that they used to get there. And I think I successfully made a very good case. That with technology 50 years ago, the method that they used to get there. And I think I successfully made a very good case that with technology 50 years ago, let alone today, it's just impossible to do it within the official framework. Let alone today, it's just impossible to do it within the official framework. So that's kind of the angle I like to work from. If it turns out that she's right, well, then that just validates my theory even more. But I would like to look at her work a little bit more before I actually. But I would like to look at her work a little bit more before I actually say yay or nay on this.
Yeah, that sounds a fair assessment, to be honest. The other interesting thing is that I'm not absolutely sure how they calculated originally the distance of the Earth to the moon, and then they got it wrong and they had to recalculate. They got it wrong by a few thousand miles or something. Calculated originally the distance of the Earth to the moon, and then they got it wrong and they had to recalculate. They got it wrong by a few thousand miles or something. So I think at the time of Kubrick's film, where The Shining, they had the room 238. Which a lot of people allude to of being the distance to the Earth to the moon, 238,000 miles. And it was around about that time that everyone agreed or thought it was 238,000 miles. But then later on, they did some further calculations and came up with some other distance, which I'm not even sure. Do you know how they work those calculations out? Is it some sort of parallax thing, different points of the Earth pointing? How does that work?
Let's face it, they had pretty good mathematical capabilities going back hundreds of years, even thousands of years, even going back hundreds of years. They were getting very precise. I mean, Isaac Newton, for example, he was very, not exactly on, but they had some mathematical ability. They had techniques that they used, basic old math, trigonometry, geometry, to figure out a rough estimate of the moon. But now we're talking about today. And as you said earlier, there is being different distances. And that actually is something I mentioned in, I think, my first book, I mentioned that.